This type of number puzzle is excellent for developing children's mathematical thinking skills. Let's look at this problem. The numbers we need to fill in are from 1 to 5, and each row, each column, and each diagonal must contain the numbers 1 to 5 without any repetition. Generally, when solving this kind of problem, we start from the areas with the most numbers filled in. For example, in this row, you see 3 numbers have already been filled in. We call this situation 3 fixed, meaning 3 numbers are already determined, right? So what should we fill in the remaining 2 spots? The numbers already filled in are 2, 3, and 5, so the 2 remaining positions must be filled with either 1 or 4. For example, in this spot, let me ask everyone, can we put a 4 here? If we put a 4 here, there would be 2 4s in this column, which isn't allowed. So, this spot can only be filled with a 1. Now for this one, shouldn't we just fill in a 4 here? Okay, next, let's take a look at this diagonal. On the diagonal, we also need to fill in numbers 1 through 5. The numbers already filled in are 3, 4, and 5. So the 2 remaining spots must be filled with either 1 or 2. Now, can we put a 1 in this spot? Take a look. If we put a 1 here, there would be 2 1s in this column. So this spot can only be filled with a 2. Then, shouldn't this spot on the diagonal be filled with a 1? Let's look for another spot. For example, let's check this diagonal. On this diagonal, the numbers already filled in are 1, 2, and 4. So the 2 remaining spots must be filled with either 3 or 5. Now let's ask everyone, can we put a 5 in this spot? If we put a 5 here, there would be 2 5s in this column, which would be a repeat, right? So this spot should be filled with a 3. Now for this spot, it should be filled with 5, right? Okay, next, let's look at this column and see if this spot can be filled with a 2. Can it be a 2? If you put a 2 here, there would be 2 2s in this row. So what should go here? It should be a 4. And this spot should be a 2 because 1 and 5 are already given, and we just filled in 3. So these 2 spots are just as we mentioned earlier. They must be filled with either 2 or 4. All right, where else can I try next? For example, in this column, look, this column already has 2, 3, and 4, so what should I fill in these 2 spots? Either 1 or 5. Can we put 1 in this spot? If we put 1 here, then there would be 2 1s in this row, so this should be 5. Then, should this spot be 1? Next, for this row, there's only 1 spot left. Now we've filled in 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. What should go in this spot? Should we put 1 here? Next, for example, let's look at this row. In this row, we filled in 1, 2, and 3, so these 2 spots must be either 4 or 5. Now let me ask everyone, can we put 5 in this spot? If we put 5 here, then there would be 2 5s in this column, which would be a repeat, so this spot should be 4, and this spot shouldn't be 5. In this way, for this column, there's only this spot left. What should go here? Should we fill in 3? Why? Because 1, 2, 4, and 5 have all been filled in, so this spot must be 3. Now, for this row, what should we fill in the only empty spot? It can't be 5. Look, 1, 2, 3, and 4 have all been filled in, so this must be 5. Now, what about this column? 1, 3, 4, and 5. What should we fill in this spot? Should we fill in 2? And what about the very last spot? Shouldn't it be 3? See, 1, 2, 4, and 5 have all been filled in before, so this spot should be 3. That completes this problem. I suggest you give it a little like, save it and watch it a few more times. Otherwise, if you want to use such a useful method again, you might not be able to find it.